Well, good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon. And here we are down in South Padre Island on the public beach. And I'm just going to turn you around so you can take a little look at what I'm looking at. And there we are. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my God, it's about 25 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky. And who wouldn't want to live in South Padre Island? Now, of course, I must add that this is just a big sand dune. All these buildings, I don't know how deep the piles go, but basically a stone's throw over this huge dune here. There's the other side of the island and you're in the water. Yeah, these dunes shift all the time with the wind. But yeah, I thought we would just have a little walk and talk down the beach here. Because Jazz is up there attacking a log. And you can see what fun she has. She is just a complete water dog, and so she doesn't hesitate. As you can tell by the yapping and the noise and goodness knows what else, that she is absolutely fearless. Now she's wearing the life jacket because these waves are a little hard on her. She's used to swimming in lake water with no action like this, and I noticed that she was just swallowing a little too much salt water, couldn't keep her head up when these waves were coming in, and so yeah, we got the life jacket on and now she can sort of surf the waves, which is just amazing. And so yeah, you're going to see things happening far and wide because of this. Like I say, one of the heads of the WEF has just had to resign over his connection to Epstein. This is Borg Brandt. And also the ex-Norwegian Prime Minister tried to commit suicide because of his connections to the Epstein files. So yes, Fergie, Prince Andrew's wife, she's lost something like 6 businesses over this because people don't want to deal with her anymore. I mean, it's just, yes, it is absolutely stunning. But one of the things that came out, and I was really surprised at, I just listened to an interview, and I will basically link that interview below in the description box with James Corbett. And I didn't realize how much connection Jeffrey Epstein had to the whole crypto industry. And he has financed the building of Tether. He's highly involved in that. And one of the other people involved in building Tether was actually down for Treasury Secretary. So there is a fairly deep connection there between Epstein and cryptos. Now, they did talk about Bitcoin. It was called The Hijacking of Bitcoin. This guy's got a book. I forget the guy's name now, but like I say, I will link the interview below. It's a bit long, but I think that you will enjoy what they have to say. Now, what was interesting is that the hijacking of Bitcoin, I'm going, oh my God, does this mean that Bitcoin is done? Are we over? But no, it seems that really the hijacking of Bitcoin was really a lot more about taking Bitcoin from an everyday kind of currency into a store of wealth. And so it was really about the changing of that narrative. And but interesting enough, you know, they didn't say that Bitcoin was broken or that it was corrupted in any way. It still works the way it always does. It is just now a store of wealth, which is fine by me. You know, I can live with that. So, and as we know, with the elites, how they run their business is they take the real and they give you the fake. And that's why they want you in 15-minute cities, and they'll have all the countryside and the islands and the nice spots, and they'll be taking the steaks and you'll be eating worm burgers, and you'll be enjoying it. So yes, it's going to be an interesting time to see how this plays out. And whilst we're on the money situation, let's talk about silver a little bit, because a few things have happened with silver. Of course, we had the big drop from $125 an ounce down to 70, so what's it, 71, $72 an ounce. Well, it is now back up to $73 an ounce on the Western spot markets. But when you go to the Shanghai metals market, oh my goodness, it is about $113 now for an ounce of silver. So that is a pretty big spread. You're talking 23 bucks difference, and this is because the Shanghai metals market is really a bullion market, whereas the Western market is more of a paper market. Although they do influence each other, they do tend to go up and down in lockstep, although they didn't in this particular drop down. But yes, we are looking, I think, at still increases. They thought there was going to be a short squeeze in March, a delivery squeeze. That didn't happen. But like I say, we're back up to $93 an ounce, and I think that what we're seeing, and of course the other thing that's a big indicator about where this is all going, is that the futures are all at $2-3 higher than the spot price, which indicates that brokers believe that the price is going in that direction. That's why you pay more for a future than you do for a spot price. And it's a kind of a bit of a predictor. And the other thing I tend to look at is the volatility index, and we're into a highly volatile period, my friends. But manufacturing does go on, the military industrial complex does go on, electronics, tech, all goes on, the data centers are being built, solar panels, they all need silver. And we have a supply squeeze. There's no doubt about it. So we all know what happens when there's a supply squeeze. Prices go up. So I think that is good news for silver. Now, the other thing I think will be interesting to talk about is the crossing of the aisle of another Conservative MP. This is Matt Genero. This is, of course, in Canada. And yes, this guy crossed the floor and joined the Liberal Party just over a year after he was elected as a Conservative. Now, this is the third one. This is the third one that's done this, and we need to stop this practice right now. Actually, Northern Perspective brought this up. I'm going to link their channel below. They are an excellent channel. But this is a constitutional issue. When you vote for somebody, you have the right to be representative, to choose your representative. And this guy crossing the aisle, and I think he was an Alberta MP, and I believe his new seat is in BC. But the constituents weren't notified. He'd just been elected. He'd stood for election based on the Conservative platform. Now, what should really happen, and I think most people would certainly agree with this, is that you step down, you run as an independent, and you have a by-election in the riding that you're in, and you stay there for the full term as an independent, or you just plain resign. But you do not cross the floor like this, and a majority, if the Liberals got a majority through this kind of behaviour, then it would not be a true majority. It's a manipulated majority, and I think we're all getting sick and tired of seeing manipulation in politics, actually everywhere. I mean, everywhere we go, it's just everything is manipulated. It's absolutely staggering, and so we're living in this upside down world where nothing is real anymore. Everything is manipulated by some mechanism or another, and you and I are basically left to fend for ourselves out in the dark. So certainly for the next little while, it's going to be quite tenuous. Canada is definitely losing the trade war with the US, and the manufacturing sector is really having a tough time. Oh, it is so beautiful here. I can't believe how much I have loved this winter. The absolute low stress of the whole thing, not having to fight the weather, being able to bring the dog down to the beach here and let her play off leash. because this is a public beach. Yeah, you have to be careful who's around, but by and large, it's a lot more flexible than when you go down to the Isla Blanca Park, and well, it's packed. It's not like this. This is like this every day. There's nobody here, and I mean, I can see why. The Isla Blanca Park, there are showers and hoses and that sort of stuff to wash the sand off, rinse the dog. With Jasmine, I have to take her home and get the hose out and sand all in the car and all this kind of stuff. I wonder what that's doing up there. Yeah, the Black Ops. I don't know. So yes, it's been absolutely gorgeous, and I've been making some plans to what I'm going to do next year, and to that end, I have been applying for some volunteer positions at some of the parks down here in the US for 3 months. I think that should be fairly interesting. One of the other things that I have managed to do is I'm just proofreading my book that I've finally finished writing, The Jewish Secrets of Business, and I'm hoping to get that published on Amazon over the next week or so. So I'm very excited about that, and also I have had an essay published in Druthers newspaper, and I will be able to link that today when I upload this video, but probably tomorrow. It hasn't been posted on their website just yet, but yeah, page 4, essay on community, because I'm actually pretty concerned about how we seem to be having some real difficulty forming community, and some of the issues that are making it difficult for us to get along together and do the things that we need to do to form community, and not the least of which is really not being able to decide what it is that is going on. I mean, like I say, it seems like we're going in every direction and no direction, and generally there's a downward spiral of living conditions getting worse and worse and worse. This dog is crazy. She's done this ever since she had puppies. Now, I don't know whether there's a connection between having 7 kids jumping all over you all the time, and you got to take out your frustrations somehow, but she will worry that log and howl and all kinds of stuff. I don't know where she gets that echo. I don't know what it is, but I've had people think that she's in pain when she's doing that, or she's been injured or something. And funny old dog. Anyway, she's a beautiful dog, and I have so much enjoyed her company. She's been a great traveler. I can take her anywhere. One of the things that I did was I got her a service dog outfit, and so I put that on, and guess what? She can go anywhere now. Because it's always an issue, when I got to go somewhere, if I leave her in the car, is it getting too hot? Is there going to be someone smash my window? And I don't even want to go there. So to have a service dog outfit is just an amazing little addition onto the Jasmine's outfit, shall we say. And I should take a photograph of her when she's all dressed up, because she is just as proud as punch. She slows right down. She stays by my side. If I stop and drop the leash on the ground, she just sits down and stays put until I come back. I mean, it is absolutely, she's just a joy to be around. And so I can put up 2 little quirks just to have a beautiful dog like this, who is so content. Look at that, she's just playing in the water by herself. Let me do my walk and talk. Yes. Lots of these little birds along the beach. As the waves come in, I guess it shows up where the wormholes are and that kind of stuff, and they pull these things out of the sand. Anyway, that is about it from me at this walk and talk. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the views, and if you're in Canada, well, maybe this has just managed to warm you up a little bit. Well, in the meantime, again, thank you very much for joining me. My Give Send Go fundraising page is now up and active. I didn't realize I hadn't activated that page. You've got to check every box on the form or it doesn't happen. But anyway, so that's up and running. I'm getting ready to set off for my return to Canada, March 15th. My time will be up at the RV park, and then I will be heading off to Martin Lies Jr. State Park, just north of Houston, and I'm going to stay there a week because personally I'm kind of dreading going back into the cold. So yes, poor little me. I'm complaining. I'm going to be complaining. I felt cold the other night. Went down to 17 degrees centigrade, and I'm going, geez, it's freaking chilly. I put a jacket on. It was cool. So it's amazing how soft you get and how quickly it happens when you're in this kind of weather. So anyways, I will be back in Canada the first week of April, and so I'm preparing for that, and I'm going to do a walk and talk around the bus so that you can see some of the things from the upgrades that I've made and some of the things that are going on there. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below, and in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See you now. Bye.